I think we can start now. Is it okay, Mr. Ryan?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let me introduce first. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone who participate on today's session. Thank you again to everyone who participate in today's training session. I'm Noraida, Assistant Librarian at Tunku Tun Aminah Library, Tasham. This morning, the session will be on searching library preferences made easy with EBSCO Discovery Service. Also for information, EBSCO Discovery Service is a database subscribed by PTTA to be used by all retention staff and students mainly. For this morning session, we will be with Mr. Ryan Carl Salas, the Customer Training Specialist, Southeast Asia for EBSCO Information Services. All right, I guess that's all from me. Without further delay, I hand this session over to Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Ms. Noraida, and good morning, everyone. And welcome to our session on the EBSCO Discovery Service. I'm just going to quickly share my screen and proceed with the session. All right, so again, welcome to our session on searching library references made easy with EBSCO Discovery Service. So as mentioned by Ms. Noraida, my name is Ryan and I am the training specialist for the region of Southeast Asia. So to start this session, I have here the objectives for today. And it is my hope that by the end of this session, you'll be able to construct and apply basic and advanced searches in EBSCO Discovery Service, use the different facets and filters to refine your search results. We're also going to access detailed records for items, access the full text version of the articles. We're also going to access catalog records, locate non-EBSCO resources, and finally locate relevant or access relevant help and support materials. So before we proceed with the live demonstration, I'd like to provide you with a brief background and overview of the EBSCO Discovery Service. So what is the EBSCO Discovery Service? So EBSCO Discovery Service, or EDS, is a discovery layer that is designed to provide us access to your library's electronic and even your print collection through a single interface. And EDS is a single search box that allows us to search simultaneously across the library's databases, including the catalogs, journals, electronic journals, your magazines, books, ebooks, institutional repositories, and much more. So we can think of the EBSCO Discovery Service as the Google for libraries, but the only difference is that the EDS has authoritative and credible sources of information. So EDS is also the gateway for you to access multitude of resources that have been subscribed to by your library. All right, so before we proceed, I'd also like to remind everyone that if you have any questions during this session, please feel free to unmute your microphones. I think the chat function is disabled, so if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute your microphones. All right, so going back, so one thing that sets EDS apart from the other platforms is that the system has a feature called relevance ranking. So what is relevance ranking? So relevance ranking is an algorithm, or it is a system that runs an algorithm in the background, and this algorithm will impact how results will appear on the first page of the EDS. So the main thing that we use here is the field ranking, and the field ranking works by implementing the following priorities to the search results, and it will have no bias toward content from any provider. So it's going to look for first match on subject headings from controlled vocabulary, preceded by a match on article titles, match on author keywords, match on keywords within abstract, and finally match on keywords within the full text. So as you can notice, the subject heading here has the most influential field among all the criteria, because the indexer would have had to assign the term to a record or to the record to help describe the article. So it matches a record's content and relies on existing thesauri from leading providers. So I also like to mention that we also have here the system called value ranking, and we can consider the value ranking as the tiebreaker. And this is a specific content attribute that matches the records that may contribute to relevant scoring. So it's going to consider the following criteria. So first is the recency or currency. So it's going to consider the recent published content, and it's going to be weighted heavier than the older content. It's also going to give priority to certain document types. So as you can see, the book reviews or review articles are valuables or deemed valuable compared to book reviews. And we also have here the document length. So it's also going to consider the document lengths, and articles of a more substantial length will have a heavier weight. So the last thing that I do want to point out is a limiter code available in the library collection. So if you're going to use your EBSCO Discovery Service, you'll come across this limiter. So this limiter is located on the left-hand column of the screen. And the purpose of the available in library collection limiter is it will enable us to limit the search results to records or resources whose full text is available online, or even the content that are physically available in your library through your catalog. All right, so those are the brief information about the EBSCO Discovery Service. And the other thing that I'd like to share with you are the different tips and tricks to make your searching easier. So we have here the Boolean operator. And if you might be wondering what are the Boolean operators, Boolean operators are simple words such as the and or and not. And these are used as conjunctions to refine or exclude a keyword. So we have here the and Boolean operator, and I'd like to represent each Boolean operator using a Venn diagram. So as you can notice, the middle part of the Venn diagram is shaded. And if we're going to utilize the end Boolean operator, the system is going to combine all of the keywords that we are going to type in the find field. So I have here education and health as my examples. And if we're going to use the end Boolean operator, the system is going to combine education and health, which will then help us narrow the scope of our search. So aside from the end Boolean operator, you can also use the or Boolean operator. So or Boolean operator, on the other hand, is going to combine the keywords that we'll type in the find field, and it's going to retrieve results featuring either of these keywords. So I still have here education or health. So the or Boolean operator will also help us broaden the scope of our search. And the last Boolean operator that we have here is the not Boolean operator. So sometimes there would be instances that we would only want to search for a specific keyword. Now, in this case, I would only want to search for education and not health. So if we're going to use this, the system is going to remove or suppress health from our search results and will only focus to resources containing education. So this will also help us narrow the scope of our search. And aside from the Boolean operators, I also prepared some samples to help you understand how truncation, exact phrase, and parenthesis work. So we have here the truncation, and we also refer to this as the asterisk wildcard. So to use this one, you just have to enter the root of your term. And I'm going to use syndrome here as my example. And notice that I've replaced the last character or the letter of my root term here with an asterisk wildcard. So if we're going to use this, the system is going to retrieve results containing syndrome, syndromes, and more. So aside from replacing a letter or a character using an asterisk wildcard, you can also use this truncation to replace a word. So as you can see, I've placed the asterisk wildcard in the middle of the words chief and officer. So if we're going to do this, the system is going to retrieve records featuring a chief medical officer, chief executive officer, or chief financial officer, and so on. So that's the truncation. We also have here the exact phrase where you can enclose your keywords and double quotation marks. So if we're going to enclose your keywords in double quotation marks, it's going to instruct the system to look for these keywords in this exact order. So it's going to retrieve diplomatic relation, relationships, and so on. Since we've placed the asterisk wildcard in the last character or replaced the last character or the letter in here. So we also have here parentheses, and by enclosing your keywords in parentheses, this will read the search string in this order. So first is health promotion or public health promotion, and it's going to combine these keywords using the end boolean operator, and it's also going to search for Manila or Philippines. All right, so without further ado, let's now proceed with the live demonstration. And if you want to follow along, we can also do that. So I'm just going to quickly share the link with you. I'm just going to quickly pop this one in the chat box. So we can do a learning by doing session. So unfortunately, I think the chat function has been disabled. So all right, so I'm just going to flash this one once again. And if you want to follow along, here is the URL to your library website. So I'm sorry, I cannot send the link in the chat box because the chat function has been disabled. So, the other thing that you can also do is just type in the name of your library website in your browser. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to type in your name in here or the name of your library and click on this one. So here is the name of your library website. And if I click on this one, it's going to redirect me to the main landing page of your library website. So to start your search, you can use the find field in here. So I'm just going to quickly jump back to my slides in here because I prepared here a search example. So if you're following along or if you want to follow along, we can or we're going to use static education as our keywords. And what we're going to do is limit the results to articles from the past 5 years and academic journals and ebooks. Right, so I'm just going to quickly jump back to your library website. So as mentioned a while ago, we're going to type in static education as our keyword. So once you've typed in your keywords in here, you can click on the magnifying glass and it's going to redirect us to the EBSCO Discovery Service. So here is your EBSCO Discovery Service. And if you haven't signed in, you'll have the guest sign in. So if you want to sign in to your institution and access the content from your library resources, you can click on this link and it's going to ask you to type in your username and your password. So if you haven't received or if you don't have the user ID or the username and password, you may reach out to your library or to your librarians to obtain this login credentials. So once you have obtained the username and the password, you can just type in your username and your password here and hit on login. So since I don't have an access to your library resources, I'm just going to access your EBSCO Discovery Service in a different location. So don't worry, the interface that you'll see in here and the settings are identical with what you'll see in your library website. So once you have successfully authenticated, this will be your main landing page. So as you can notice, I have already signed in. I don't have the guest access anymore. So once you have signed in, you can click on the help button here, and the help button here will show us relevant information on how we can navigate the platform. So here is the EBSCO Discovery Service, and on the left-hand column of the screen is where we can find the relevant articles that will help us in navigating this platform. So you have here the basic search, the advanced search. If you scroll a bit further, you can also see some help resources on folders, saving searches and alerts, and so on. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is type in our keywords. So as mentioned a while ago, we are going to be using static education. So as you can notice, once you start typing your keywords, the system is going to recommend terms in here. So we have here the popular terms, your publications, and so on. So you can click on any of the popular terms here and run your search. So I'm just going to do that, and it's going to retrieve the results for us. So we have here 105,350 results. So as you can notice, this is a bit massive. And as a user, it's going to take us a lot of time to scroll through the entire list in here and evaluate each item that we have here. So to help us manage the search results and bring down this further, we are going to use the different facets and filters which are available on the left-hand column of the screen. So if I scroll down, so before I discuss the limiters, I also want to mention something called the breadbox. So the breadbox here will show us all of the limiters that we are going to select as well as the expanders. So you have here the different expanders. So when I click on the limiters or any of the limiters in here, you'll notice that the selected limiter will appear in the breadbox. All right, so first on the list, we have here the full text limiter, which will allow us to limit the articles with full text availability. I've also discussed a while ago the available in my library collection limiter, and this will be the usual default. And we also have here the scholarly or peer-reviewed journals. And the peer-reviewed journals are publications that include only those articles that have been reviewed or qualified by a selected panel of acknowledged experts in their field of study. So we're just going to click on the scholarly peer-reviewed in here. So this will be our first limiter. So as mentioned a while ago, it's going to show the active limiter that we've selected on the breadbox. So aside from these limiters, you can also use the publication limiter. So this will let us search for items within a specified date range. So if you're or if you want to search for the resources that have been or that were published within the last 5 years, you can just change the year in here. Let's say from 2019 to 2024. So as you can notice, the search results in here are gradually decreasing. So aside from the publication date limiter, you can also use the source type limiter. So this will essentially just allow us to pick and choose a specific source type. So you have your academic journals, conference materials, books, and if I click on the show more button here, it's going to show up the additional source types. So I'm just going to click on academic journals in here. So I'm just going to untick the peer-reviewed limiter in here and click on academic journals and also ebooks. So if you're following along, you should be getting 22,000 search results. So aside from the source type, you can also use the subject. And if I click on this drop down, it's going to show us the different subjects that we have here. So if you click on show more, it's going to show up additional subject that we have here. So you have your research paper, statics, and so on. So there are some other limiters that you can use. So you have here the publisher limiter, publication limiter. You can also use the language limiter. So if you want to search for resources that are written in a specific language, you can use this language limiter. So the two uh, other limiters that we have here are geography or the country limiter. And we also have here the content provider. So the content provider here will show us different providers for our aesthetic education search term. So it's going to show us where the results are coming from based on what we are searching. So if we click on the show more here, as you can see, we have here the different content providers. So you have your academic search index, your Scopus, Emerald Insight. So you can limit down the results using this content provider. So I'm just going to click on Open Air and EBSCO or the ebook collection and click on Update. So as you can see, we have been able to bring down the search results to 1,646 only. So that's the purpose and advantage of using different limiters. And as you can notice, it's going to help us manage the search results. So you can scroll through the list now, and it's easy for us to evaluate the contents or the items that are presented to us. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this one. So this is an ebook. So you can also at a glance see the source type in here. So if you scroll down, you have here an ebook. So if you scroll a bit further, you can also see some articles in here. So let me just try to review the limiter that I've applied in here. I'm just going to click on Springer just to add some academic journals in here. So as you can see, we have here different search results. So this one is an academic journal, while if you scroll down, this one is an ebook. And if we click on any of the results in here, it's going to redirect us to the detailed record of the item. So you have here the complete title, a brief description of an ebook or the ebook. We can also see the series, the subjects, the categories, and the database where it is coming from. So on the left-hand side of the screen is where we can find the access options. So if you want to access this one in full text, you have your two options. We have your PDF and EPUB full text. So if you might be wondering what's the difference between a PDF and EPUB full text, so the main difference here is the accessibility of the access options. So if I click on the PDF in here, it's going to show us the ebook content in PDF version. All right, so let's just wait for the system to load. So here is the full text version of this ebook. So you can scroll through the different chapters in here. And you can also download this chapter if you want to by clicking on the download button or the download icon. So please make sure that if you're going to download the ebook, please make sure that you review the publisher permissions, because sometimes you have here limitation on the number of pages that you can print, email, or save. So you can also see some information whether we have here the option or the availability to copy or paste, or we can also download the ebook. All right, so I'm just going to go back and that's the PDF. So I also want to point out that the downside of using the PDF version is that it's not going to allow us to reflow the text to the current screen size. So as you can see, it's not automatically reflowing. So if I go back to the detailed record and click the EPUB full text, so as you can notice, if I'm going to change the screen size in here, the text in here will automatically reflow. All right, so there you go. So that's the advantage of using the EPUB version over the PDF. Now, that's the different access options. So aside from accessing a record online, you can also export this one using the different exporting tools that we have here. So just to the right, we have here the different tools. So you can upload this item on your Google Drive account or on your OneDrive account. You can also add this one to your folder if you want to. So I'm going to further discuss this in a bit. So I'm just going to go back in this feature, and you can also print this ebook if you want to, and set the standard field format. So just a note, if you're going to print this one, it's just going to print the detailed record and not the full text version of the article. And if you want to print the full text version of the article, you can just access this one in PDF and click on the print icon. So you can also email this one to yourself or to your classmate. So you just have to type in the email address of the recipient in here, and you can also change the email from. So let's say, for example, you want to use your personal email address, and you can just type in your email address here and the email address of the recipient. So aside from the email, you can also save this one and adjust the standard field format and the citation format. You can also cite this one if you want to. So this is a useful tool if you're doing a research. So the EBSCO Discovery Service provides the citation in 9 different styles. So you can scroll through the list. So for example, you want to use the APA 7th edition, you can highlight this one or the citation and copy this one using your browser's copy function. So just a note, if you're going and planning to use the citation generated by the platform, please make sure that you review the following details. So first is the personal names, the capitalization, as well as the dates, because the data used to cite this article or ebook is not yet standardized. Therefore, you should always review the details that I've mentioned. So there is a note in here. So please make sure that you read this one prior to using the citation. So you can always consult your library resources for the exact formatting and punctuation guidelines. So that's the site. So aside from the site, we can also export the citation using the bibliographic management software. So you have your different options to export the citation. So as you can see, we have here the generic bibliographic management software. You can also export this one in XML format and so on. So the other thing that you can also do is create note. And this is a note-taking feature that will help you by allowing you to create notes. So you can also grab the persistent link, and here is the permanent link to this ebook. So I do highly recommend that if you want to share this one, the link rather, to your classmates, I do recommend that you retrieve it using the permalink tool. Because if you're going to use the URL generated by your browser, this one is temporary and will expire after 24 hours. Now, that's how we can run a basic search. So just going to quickly go back. So I've also mentioned, aside from the ebook, you can also access academic journals or different source types using the EBSCO Discovery Service. So we have here an academic journal. So this one is coming from Springer Nature Journals. And if we click on the view record, the Springer, so the link in here or the link out is called the custom link. So if we click on this one, it's going to redirect us to another page. And it's going to, and since I don't have the login credentials to your institution, I'm going to get this login page. So it's going to require me to sign in using my username and password. But if you're accessing this one within the vicinity of your institution, this should automatically redirect you to the article. So that's how we can run a basic search using the EBSCO Discovery Service. So any questions so far before we proceed to the next portion of the session?
I'm sorry, Mr. Ryan. Maybe our chatbot have a problem. So maybe if participant have question or inquiry, maybe they can raise their hand there.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good idea. So they can just raise their hand, or you can also unmute your microphones if you have any questions. All right. So I think someone is raising. Hi, Sazelina. Hi, please unmute your microphone if you have a question.
Morning. Can you hear me? Hello, good morning, Mr. Ryan. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, hello.
Uh, I would like to ask, for example, we found that the search engine shows us about 10 findings,
All right,
I mean, this article.
all right,
How can we generate the link directly from EBSCO, for
all right.
example, to an Excel file or something?
Yeah. Sorry, I can't. Sorry, I think there is a problem in the audio. Sorry, can you please repeat the question? Sorry, apologies. Think the audio.
Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's better now.
I would like to ask if from the searching we found like 10 search results, you
All
know,
right. Hey, yeah, hello.
and then can we generate a list report directly from the investigation?
All right. Is it the link or the permalink? How can you generate the
For
permalink?
example, no, it's not the link. Give an example. Like right now, the first result is number one, classical effective type, and then number two is innovation or music, and we'll go on till let's say number 10. So I want the list of research to be in an Excel or something like that. So, it does actually generate a list from this finding.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I have an issue with the audio. Um, Miss Noraida, is there a way to, I think the Q&A has now been enabled. So apologies, Selena, could you just please, if you could just type in the question. So I'm sorry, I think I'm having a difficulty in my audio right now.
Sorry, Mr. Ryan, I have this enable Q&A. I'm not sure
Yeah,
if participant can see that.
yeah, I think
Angelina,
it's,
can you try access Q&A option
yeah, I
and
think it,
raise your question there?
I'm just going to do a try if this one is working. Yeah, just wondering if you received my question in the Q&A function. Yeah, apologies, Azalina, if you have a question. I think I'm experiencing an issue with my audio right now. So could you just please utilize the Q&A and just wait for your question. Apologies for this one. All right, so I'm just going to be on standby for your question and just going to quickly proceed with the advanced search for the interest of time. All right, so that's the basic search. Again, if you have any questions, the Q&A function has now been enabled. So please feel free to type in your queries in the Q&A function in here. So the next thing that we're going to have a look at is the advanced search. And we can also use the advanced search, or the advantage of using an advanced search is that it's going to allow us to build a multi-layered search utilizing the different rows in here, as well as the field codes and the Boolean operators. So if you're following along, the next thing that we're going to type in are these keywords. So we're going to use COVID-19 and the impact on the economy. So once we've typed in our keywords, we are going to limit the results to articles from the past 5 years and articles from reports. So to do this one, I'm just going to quickly jump back to the browser. And to run an advanced search, please make sure, or before running an advanced search, please make sure that you click on the new search in here. So by clicking on the new search in here, it's going to redirect us to the main landing page of the EBSCO Discovery Service. So here is the advanced search button. And if we click on this one, it's going to show us the advanced search landing page. So as mentioned a while ago, it's going to show us the different rows in here, and we can also use the field codes as well as the different Boolean operators. So I'm just going to type in the keywords that we are going to be using for the advanced search. So first is COVID-19. So we still have here the responsive autocomplete feature. So this will be our first keyword. And we're going to combine COVID-19 with another keywords. So we're going to use economy in here, but I'm not going to finish the keyword here. And I'm going to replace the last letter or the character with an asterisk wildcard. So if you're following along, please make sure that you replace the last letter of your keyword here with an asterisk wildcard. So aside from economy, I'm also going to think of the different synonyms to help us broaden the scope of our search. So the first one is economy. And since economy is also synonymous with finance, we can also type in finance in here. So I'm just going to truncate this one and going to use FINAN as my keyword. And the last synonym that I'm going to include is market. So again, I'm going to replace this one with an asterisk wildcard. And the last keyword that I'm going to use is impact and economy. Or sorry, it's actually or effect. So once we've typed in our keywords, we can now go ahead and click on the search button here. So once we click on the search button, it should retrieve 222,396 search results. So if you want to narrow down the search results, you still have here the different filters and facets that you can utilize. So if you scroll down, we have here the source types. And if I click on this one, we have here the reports. So according to our search strategy, we're going to limit the results to articles or to our reports rather. And I'm just going to quickly click on the update, and it should narrow down the search results to 781 only. So if you're following along, this should be your search results at the moment. So it's 781. So if we want to further narrow this down, we also have the option to add in a another keyword from our search result. So if you want to add in a new keyword, you can click on the positive icon here, and it's going to add a new row in here. So for my last keyword, I'm just going to type in Malaysia and run a quick search. Right, so and make sure that I click on the report in here. So there you go. We only have 4 results in here. So again, you can, since you don't have a subscription to this specific article or report, rather, it's going to show you this custom link. This is the request this item through interlibrary loan. So that's how we can utilize the advanced search. So any questions so far? So I'm just going to check in the Q&A in here. Right, so I don't think we don't have any questions. So again, if you have any questions, you can just type in the question here in the Q&A portion. So I'm hovering over. So here is the Q&A. So please feel free to type in your queries in here. All right, so going back, so that's the advanced search. So the next thing that we're going to have a look at is how we can run a search using a known item. Right. Yeah. Right. So going back, the next thing that I'm going to do is click on the advanced search again. And once we've clicked on the advanced search, I'm just going to quickly type in my keywords in here. So as mentioned and as included in the search strategy, we're going to use a sensory education as our keyword. And since we know that a sensory education is the title of the ebook that we are trying to search for, what we're going to do is click on the select a field drop down and click on the title field code in here. So that is the title of the ebook. And since we also know the author of this title, we're also going to type in the name of the author, which is Anna Aris. And we're just going to repeat the same process. We're just going to click on this drop down and select the author field code. So once we've typed in the keywords, we're going to run a quick search, and it's going to retrieve 2 results for us. So if you are following along, you should be getting 2 search results, and we have here the title of the ebook. And the title is a sensory education. So if I click on this one, it's going to redirect us to the detailed record of this ebook. So that's how we can utilize the advanced search to look for a known item. So I also do want to point out that we also have here the search history. So this is useful if you want to track the searches that you've made within the platform. So if you go to the search history, it's going to show us all the searches that we've done within the platform. So we have here the first search term, which is aesthetic education. And we have here the search number 4, search number 5, and so on. So if you want to further utilize this search history and access the different features, what you could do is click on the search terms in here. And if you want to combine this search terms with other keywords, let's say, for example, static education and COVID-19 and economy and impact in here. So you can just click on these boxes and you have here the option to combine these searches using the AND Boolean operator or the OR Boolean operator. So you could also delete the searches if you want to. So aside from combining the search terms, you can also go to the search history and retrieve the searches, the alerts that you've created, or create an alert or save searches as well. All right, so that's how we can run a search using the advanced search and search for a known item. So any questions before we proceed with the My EBSCO folders? I'm just going to double check our Q&A in here. Right, so I don't think we don't have questions. So apologies, Cezalina, if you have a question. Apologies, I think my audio right now is experiencing some issues. So if you could just utilize the Q&A in here, that would be great. So thank you. All right, so going back, the next thing that we're going to have a look at is a feature called the My EBSCO folder. So a brief background about this. So the My EBSCO folders are free to create. And by using this one, this will allow us to create and manage your saved searches. And we can also create search alerts and publication alerts as well. So we can also save the citation for later and customize or create a customized folders if you want to. So to utilize this feature, you can go back to the EBSCO Discovery Service. So I'm just going to quickly click on the new search here. And to sign in to your My EBSCO folder, there is the sign in button. So I'm just going to quickly click on this one and log in. So to log into your account, you just have to type in your your username or your email address and type in your password. And if you've created your account using your Google email address, you can also continue with Google. And if you haven't created your account, you also have the option to sign up by clicking on this hyperlink in here. So if we click on the sign up button, it's going to show us this form that we have to fill out. So you just have to type in your first name, your last name, your email address, create your password, and click on the consent box in here. So alternatively, you can also continue with Google and use your existing Google account to create an account. So I just have here my different Google email address. So since I have my own account, I'm just going to sign in. So I'm just going to refresh this one quickly. So there it goes. So as you can see, I have successfully signed in because the sign in button now changes to a sign out button. So to access the items that you've saved in your folder, you can click on the folder icon here or the folder button, and it's going to show us all of the items that we've saved in our folder. So if you scroll down, you have here your articles, any ebooks that you've saved, and it's also going to show us if you've checked out any ebooks. So it's going to appear on the ebooks in here. So if you scroll down, it's going to also show us the different customized folders that I've created. So there is an option to create your customized folder. So the advantage of creating a customized folder is it's going to allow us to organize the items within our folders. So if you want to create a new customized folder, you can click on the new button here, and you can just type in the name of your folder. So I'm just going to type in UTHM. So before saving, you can also include a brief description and click on save to create your customized folder. So if I scroll a bit further, I have here the UTHM. So if you want to utilize this one, you can, for example, run a quick search. So I'm just going to use online learning as my keyword and click on the search button. So from the search results, it's going to show us the titles of the resources in here. So preceding each title, as you can see, we have here the folder icon. And if we click on the folder icon, it's going to show us all of the folders that we've created, or the customized folders that we've created. And I'm just going to scroll at the bottom, and here is the UTHM. So once we click on the customized folder, the folder icon changes into a folder that has an item inside. So to double check if you have successfully saved this item in your folder, you can go back to the folder button in here and scroll at the bottom, and you have here the UTHM. So if I click on the articles, it's going to show me the book that I've saved. So that's the EBSCO or the My EBSCO folder. So I do also want to mention that you can also share your customized folder with your classmates if you want to by clicking on the share button in here. So you just have to type in their email address, and you can also include a brief message prior to sending, and you can also change the subject and configure the email format. So once you're done, you can click on the invite, and they will receive the folder or the invitation via the email. All right, so that's the My EBSCO folder. And the last thing that I'm going to quickly discuss is the publication finder. So this is just a quick demo. So here is the publications, and this will allow us to search for a specific journal or publication, or maybe books as well, or ebooks as well. So here is the main landing page of the publications, and you can browse using different disciplines in here. And if you're searching for a specific keyword, you can also just type in your keyword or keywords in the find field. So let's say, for example, you want to search for journals on business. You can just type in business in here and click on the search button. So it's going to retrieve the results for us. So as you can see, we still have here the limiters to narrow down the search results. So you can scroll through the list, and to access this journal or publication, you can click on the full text access, and it's going to show you the different databases where you can access the full text version of this publication. So we have here Science Direct, and if I click on this one, so since I don't have access to your resources, it's going to prompt me to log in. So that's how you can utilize the publication feature. And that also takes me to the end of the session. So before we wrap up, I do want to show you our help and support materials or resources, as well as our help website. So here is our help website, and this is called EBSCO Connect. So you can go to EBSCO Connect, and for example, you want to search for an article to help you navigate the platform. You can go in here and type in your keyword. So let's say, for example, you want to know more information about folder. You can type in folder in here and click on the magnifying glass, and it's going to retrieve the results for us. So that's the EBSCO Connect. So here are the different help articles about the folders. So you have here the custom folders, the My EBSCO folder, and so on. So aside from searching for different articles, you can also go to the Learning tab, and we call this the EBSCO Academy. And this will allow us to watch any recordings that we have within the EBSCO Connect. So here is the Watch a Video tile, and you can click on the Watch a Video button. So it's going to show us all of the recordings that we have here on EBSCO Connect. So you can use the find field in here. So let's say, for example, you want to watch a recording on EBSCO Discovery Service. So I'm just going to type in EBSCO Discovery Service here, and it's going to show us the different recordings for EBSCO Discovery Service. All right, so I also want to take this opportunity to invite you to our upcoming competition. So we call this the Become an EBSCO Expert, and this will run from November 6 to December 4.